If you've ever heard a killer chord progression and then you struggled like crazy to sound it out by ear, maybe it's because you were trying to just loop the progression over and over again and hope that you could luck out and hit the right chord.
It takes me so long figuring out by ear. It would probably take me 10 minutes of going through that.
I'm a professional guitar player and musician, and I want to teach you a trick that I've been using forever to sound out the chords much more quickly. Sing it immediately, da da da, until I can match it. The power of using your main instrument, your voice, is going to unlock the puzzle pieces way faster than just looping and hoping. But you need a process. So in this video, I'm giving you a really clear, easy to follow checklist. This will help you sound out chord progressions faster so that you can play parts that you come up with on the fly. That is fun. Grab your guitar and get comfortable. This is a full-on lesson that I had with one of my members. This topic came up and we covered a lot of ground. You're not gonna wanna miss it. No more fear of the ear. Get yourself training, not straining. No more complaining. All right, I'm done. Let's go.
I guess I don't think outside of the guitar a lot.
Like what the other instruments are doing kind of thing?
I'm listening for guitar parts and thinking about like where I'm gonna go.
So a tip I would give you is listen to the bass. And even if there is no bass part, listen to the lowest, whoever's holding the lowest note. It might be the guitar, it might be like a sparse arrangement. It might be there's a keys part or an organ part or something. And do that even if you don't end up using that information, but if it's your quickest way to sounding out what the chords are. Because let's say if I put the dots away and I'm asking you to sound out a chord progression, this is where the ear training really, where the rubber meets the road. There's ear training that's sort of in a vacuum where it's like, what is this note? What is that note? And all that. And then there's context, relative pitch. So if I do like a... So that's the progression, and you have to sound it out. So what's your guess so far?
Is it in G?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so then G, so 1, 5, 4, 6.
Okay, so
Second chord again.
Yeah. So this is where I would suggest like the movement that you just did to go further up the neck, to me would reflect that maybe you didn't catch that, like really listening to how much movement is happening in the low end. So like, so that's really spelling it out. Try to now just play me the bass line, like the lowest voice.
I still don't know what the second note was. It was like, did you just change the bass note? Like,
No.
was it?
And this is where I say sing it immediately, not for the sake of singing and being a singer, but because you're pitch matching better. So if I go, I would stop it right there and say, okay, what was that? But the moment that my radar goes off to be like, I'm not sure what that is, I would be da 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 until I can match it. Consider it your way of, in the cartoons where they would show, like if someone's tying a bow, like with string, like one person holds their finger down to hold the, when someone's helping them tie a knot, it's like a placeholder or a bookmark or whatever. Like you do it right away so that you can catch that thing. Because too often guitar students think, I'm just going to listen to the whole thing loop, and we're in the land of looping now. So it's like, I'm going to listen to it loop for 10 minutes and I'm just going to hope, and I'm just going to keep mushing these chords in until I don't hear any bad notes. That's not going to work for actual ear training. What you need to do is be like, ba, and right there you'd be like, is that what I think it is? Yeah, it's okay. Okay, so it's G.
B? No.
Yeah. So the second note is B, but before you go trying to build out the rest of the chord, really try to make sure that those match. Ba 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 ba. And then what's that fourth note?
I think it's C, right?
Not
Is
the
it-
fourth note. So one more time.
Uh, um,
Okay, so this will be what you got to work on, and as a general rule, sing each phrase, prioritize finding that bass line, because that bass line doesn't always exactly match the chords. What this progression was G, da da da, but that was a G over B. So I'm still on G. I've just da da da. I've just moved to B in the bass, which so it's a slash chord. So we got slash chords, and which would be, and this is where here's and don't play along for a second. This would be the Achilles heel that separates the pack. A lot of times someone says, okay, I'll listen for the bass line, and the bass line, I know what the chords are the moment I know the bass note, because that's falling for the trap that every single time you hear a bass note, it's going to be the root. So a lot of people will be like, boom, ba ba boom, or boom, ba ba boom. They would just sort of plow over what's really happening. And when you start to hear the subtle difference, it's like the difference between a color being like solid red versus being like, I think it's kind of a pastel. And that's how I think of it. Like whenever you hear sort of a chord where you can hear the bass note, but something about it sounds a little softer or more in between, it's usually a hint that you've got a slash chord, at least for these kind where, you know, when you have the one chord, this is the G, ba ba ba, it's still the one chord. When it's sitting on its major third, it has kind of a softer kind of tone to it, like when I did that's how I played it the first time. It's kind of airier, versus the kind of borrowed chord, which might be a boom, ba ba boom. It's going to be more of an ear pull. It's going to maybe hit a more nostalgic sound, where it has that kind of like, oh, okay, get ready, because we're sort of doing like a, yes, I live the life of a. It's like it pulls on those kind of strings, versus the standard diatonic, which is going to sound the most kind of natural, and sometimes natural and a little bit boring. Not necessarily. It's not like, not trying to make a YouTube video about it, but it's like, bum, ba, ba, bum. That might be more like the Van Morrison, like, I can hear a heartbeat. It just sounds like it's staying right within the set of crayons.
Yeah.
And so this is where your ear training, this is a specific zone of ear training that is enormous. Like this, because if you do this work first and you're like, okay, I listen to the bass notes, so I'm not going to be wasting a half hour playing the wrong chords. That would be a bummer. If you were like, I don't know, maybe it's this. It's like, no, it's not anything. It's going to be within a certain range of what you know. And if what you're best at knowing is like, okay, I can find the notes of G major, the half of the reason for learning that is so you can notice when something isn't in that. So when your ear gets really comfortable hearing like 1, 4, 5, 4, the moment you hear 1, 4, you should have a bit of like, what was that? And that curiosity should allow you to very quickly be like, well, I know it wasn't one of my usual suspects because it set off that spider sense, but it was nearby. And that's where having that humming along with a bass note, you'd be like, well, it didn't go boom, boom. It didn't go like off into left field. It went boom, 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 boom. No, it wasn't that. That sounds too doo-wop. It went, it was interesting like that. That's where you want to be, because the moment you have that bass layer figured out, then you can ask yourself the next question. Okay, was it regular diatonic chords? It almost was. You should have part of yours, as you get more attuned to this, should be like, you know what, there was something about that second chord that didn't feel like I was directly matching it. I'll give you one more progression. So we're in C. So I'm up here. Let me see. Don't forget, if you want to try out my teaching style, you get 2 weeks totally free to join us in the community. It's a blast. We do guitar workouts together. You can watch them live. You can catch the replays. You know the drill. We hope to see you inside. We're super fun. It's my opinion. One chord. Here's the second chord. Here's the third chord. And then this one's split in half. Okay, so start. Don't try to hit the bullseye. Do not try to play the full chord progression. Just give me the bass line.
It starts on the 1, right?
Yeah, so it's in C and it starts on C.
Can you give me one more time?
You got it.
Just the whatever the first 2 chords are. Bow.
Okay, so let me help you walk through it.
Minor, right?
What's the first? Yeah, so you're jumping ahead to because I know your ear is. This is the thing. You're hearing that there's something going on there, and you're getting excited to find out, is it major, is it minor, and that's causing you to fish around in places that are going to make it either take too long, or you're gonna lose it, and then you won't be able to find it, and then you'll have to keep re-listening to it. And this is where, if you're in a jam session and someone's teaching you a song, or even if you're learning a song on your own, you might run out of steam because it feels like super frustrating, because it's like it was right there, and you've got to prioritize. Do that first. Set aside the major and minor qualities of it.
Yeah, okay, it takes me so long. The figuring out by ear. Like, you give me that progression, it would probably take me 10 minutes of going through that one bar till I was like, okay, I got it.
Right, but how about this? If what I'm giving you, and this is what I'm trying to hammer home, is that I'm giving you a checklist. And if you had this checklist, it would allow you to do one thing at a time, and then you do it right. And maybe the analogy is like, if you're going to paint an entire room, it's like if you tape up the windowsills and the outlets and the switches, and then you go at it with a sprayer, it's going to be so much faster than if you just immediately go in with a brush and trying to hope that you're not going to paint and make everything look like shit. So if the first step is bass line only, and then the second step would be like, just test out major or minor, like the classic chords. And a lot of times that will get you direct hits. And if it doesn't, then you might be dealing with slash chords, or secondary dominants, right? Those are the borrowed chords, right? The ones that are like, oh, it's right? And sometimes that might be one and the same, meaning you might hit the 2 chord and the 2 chord is major, so then you'll just know, oh, this is one of those progressions where the 2 chord would normally be minor, and in this case it's major. And you just purely learn it. And please, in this process, you do not have to answer the question like what key or what scale. If you get thinking that too early, it can really kill the vibe, because it's a real kind of it's sort of an amateur question. Because if someone's playing a cool chord progression, and the very first thing that someone in the band says is like, tell me what key I can be in so that I can start playing noodles over it, it's like, it's a little bit disrespectful to like the piece of music. Like, we love pop music, and pop music is breaking rules all the time, and it's written by people that might have music theory background or none whatsoever, and they're just like, it's like, just learn the chords for what they are. And then theory is going to do what it's supposed to do, which is like, that's at the chalkboard afterwards when you want to get a plan together. It's not to try to help you like set the bumpers up so that you can play no wrong notes. So your first objective now is just the bass line, and now I'll throw you the chord progression again.
Okay.
You're doing good work, Zach. Here we go. So how about...
Did the bass note not move? Is it like a trick question?
No, it's not a trick question. Okay, so... You got it. The moment you use your voice, you nailed it. Keep going. Okay, so let's do 2 chords at a time, and when you go to play it back, stay in the same tempo So it's not just purely like, could it be this? Could it be that? Stay in the ba, 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 because you can remind yourself that, okay, I've already given you the first chord, by the way. I've told you the first chord is C. So just remove that off your brain, being like, got it. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, boom. That's 25% of what we're looking for. Okay, so now we're just looking for the next quarter, the next like chunk. Find those two notes. Use your voice.
Well, so those were C and that is G, right?
Okay, yeah. So show me how you would do it if I wasn't here harassing you. If it was just purely with your voice and with the tempo.
Yeah. So I had that C, and then you said don't worry about the key, so I just tried everything. I tried 1 fret above, 2 frets above, and then
no, don't do that. Don't do that. That's like counting on your fingers when we're halfway towards calculus. Like you got this.
So then try the 2. Wasn't the 2? And there's the 5.
Okay, so now play those 2 bass notes. Like, yeah, great. That what you're doing right now. Put it into context. Stay in the music. Stay in the music and use your voice. Let's find the other 2 chords, and that's your rule going forward.
Is it E?
No. You just sang it. You just sang the note.
Is it D?
Yeah. So the moment you sang, it's a direct hit.
Yeah.
Okay. So this bass line is its own phrase. If we were singing a 4-part vocal quartet, God help us, like to do a barbershop version of this, somebody's job would be boo, 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 boo. Boo, 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 boom. Boo, 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 boom. Boo, 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 boo.
I think that one is F.
Yeah. See, that's great. Okay, so you've got your bass line, epic. Now I'm going to play it again. So lock that in. You've got the bass line. It fits. And now what we're looking for, cover the letters there a bit. We're going to just compare major and minor for each one. So I'll play through the progression twice, and I want you to very quickly, like you got to be vigilant. At the moment that I get to a chord, I want you to just put up the paint swatches. Be like, is it major or is it minor? And just decide yes or no, which one. Okay. Here we go. 3, 4.
So C major, G minor, and then B major.
You mean D? Yeah. Is that what you say? D?
Yeah, D.
Yeah.
And then on the F, did you go major to minor?
Dude, boom. Nothing but net. Every single one of those was right. And I don't know. It seems to me that the moment that we had our bass part locked in, it was just buckets. It was just like, yeah, like easy peasy, right? It's either or.
Yeah.
And it won't always be a direct match to major and minor, but like within that progression, there were some curveballs because the good news about theory as we practice it and learn it is that we start to see more patterns. But if we don't also see the exceptions to those patterns, then that sets us up for a weak spot. Meaning we get to the G, and if we force out of stubbornness, being, well, G has to be major because we're in C. He said we're in C. It's like, no, that's G minor. So we turn that 5 chord into a minor. Well, D has to be D minor because it's the 2 chord, and mathematically, it's like, no, it doesn't have to be anything. It can be whatever it wants. And then the same thing for the F, you heard it switch from major to minor. So that is ear training, because you're able to make those quick distinctions after you've set up the structures. You understand the form. You understand that this whole progression is like a phrase, and the phrase kind of rides on that. Ba, 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 ba. That's easy after you have that locked in.
Cool. Thanks so much. Yeah, it's super helpful.
So, hey, if you dug that lesson, please give this video a like and maybe leave an interesting comment. What's the most complicated chord progression you had to sound out by ear? And what was your secret? And oh yeah, if you want to learn guitar in my amazing community, we do guitar workouts every night of the week. There's tons of great people in there making more progress. You get 2 weeks totally free to try everything out. The link is in the description. We'll say hey when you come on in. We're really nice. You'll enjoy it.